So just winning one national title doesn't exactly get you a statue built. It doesn't exactly buy you, let's say, 10 years worth of goodwill in the LSU fans' graces. You need sustainable success to be a national title contender every year. Two names I think that can get you there on a yearly basis. Mel Tucker at Michigan State, Mark Stoops at Kentucky. Both now have shown at their stops, at their respective schools, they can win with less talent. They can coach the hell out of the teams that they are and win games against teams that are more talented than them. So they can do that. If Mel Tucker can win at Michigan State, if Mark Stoops, and he's done this some more consistently because he's been at Kentucky for a lot longer than Mel Tucker's been at Michigan State, but you have Mark Stoops at Kentucky consistently now winning 8, 9, 10 games at Kentucky despite having a lot less talent. That, to me, if you now can win with lesser talent, imagine what they'll do when they have one of the best rosters in college football, that the way LSU recruits every single year. That, to me, is enough to keep LSU consistently at the top with Alabama, with Georgia every single year in the national title conversation. Those to me are the two names. Mel Tucker, Mark Stoops. Because look at Mel Tucker, right? He has really turned Michigan State around. That program was kind of in shambles when Mark D'Antonio left. There were some issues off the field. The recruiting is really sagged off. Michigan State, and the timing of it too, when he resigned, was pretty brutal, pretty tough for Mel Tucker to come in. Obviously, we know the pandemic made things tough. But they did beat Michigan last year. And now this year, he's been able to turn this Michigan State program around to where they're 7-0, I should say, in college football. They're a top 10 team. And part of the reason why he has been able to turn Michigan State around so quickly is he has really mastered the transfer portal well. He's brought guys like Kenneth Walker over and has turned them into the top leading rusher in all of college football. He's been able to bring explosiveness to the Michigan State offense that has been missing for years. Even when Michigan State was at their best, when they went to the College Football Playoff in 2015, this is not an explosive offense. This is not an offense that really left you kind of in awe at how well they played. But this Michigan State offense this year is different. Mel Tucker has injected some life, some juice into that. And not only has he done that, he's also a guy with SEC ties. He's been a coach at Georgia. He's been at Alabama. He already has some of those connections and know kind of what it's like. So you're not, essentially, even though he's been at, head coach of Colorado, then went over to Michigan State, you're not exactly bringing an outsider in. You're not exactly bringing a guy who doesn't really know what he's in for in. So Mel Tucker has done more with less. He has SEC ties already, and he's mastered now the transfer portal and getting teams competitive, which, as we know, is kind of hit or miss. It's an important part of the job now. And it's a good way to reload. Alabama is doing it masterfully. Their best receiver this year, Jamison Williams, transferred from Ohio State. So now it's not only about trying to keep guys on your team, but it's also about how can you get better, not just through recruiting, through the transfer portal. Mel Tucker has done that tremendously in year 2 of Michigan State. And for Mark Stoops, he has truly now built a consistent winner at Kentucky. 2018, they were not New Year's Six, but they had a great season. Beat Florida for the first time in ages. This year, they beat not only Florida, they beat LSU in back-to-back weeks. Both those wins with lesser talent, right? Florida on paper is more talented than Kentucky. LSU on paper is more talented than Kentucky. And they blew out LSU. So when you look at how Mark Stoops has been able to recruit to Kentucky, still get good players there. Again, same thing as mastered the transfer portal, getting Will Levis from Penn State to become his quarterback and rode Kentucky to the number 11 ranking this year. He has done more with less. But when you look at the LSU job, now, LSU is in a state, Louisiana, that has one of the, is more one of the talent-rich states in the country. We have, obviously, Florida, you have Texas, you have California. Louisiana, though, is a very talent-rich state. And what LSU has done, what has led to them being so dominant for so long, is that they have crushed, absolutely killed the in-state recruiting. You can make the argument LSU is the best program in-state, or has done the best job of keeping their talent home of any team in the country. There's so much talent just sitting there that they consistently get year in and year out. So now if you're Mark Stoops, already a solid recruiter, he can go into Louisiana and basically put a fence around the state, which is, LSU's done a great job of for the most part anyway. I think he would be a tremendous coach to come in there and bring sustained success to LSU.